have completed our classification of repertories in third year only. So what are clinical repertories? Yes, Sujata, Priya, Sujata Minda, Priya, Satkute, anyone? So clinical repertories, this is doctor, as there are many repertories, to find out in easy way to choose the perfect repertory according to the case. Dr. Hahnemann, he classified the repertories into different groups. One of his classification is clinical repertories. So clinical repertories are those repertories which contain clinical symptoms or conditions. As the name itself suggests that the clinical repertory means in these type of repertories, clinical conditions they are given, clinical symptoms, diagnostic rubrics we found in these repertories. And especially these repertories, they are against the principle of homeopathy, that we cannot prescribe according to the disease diagnosis, but so they are not commonly used for the proper repertorization, but they are used especially when we have very few symptoms. The case is, in case we cannot get the mental general, physical general, and whatever particular symptoms we get related to disease condition, they are also common symptoms of that disease. As well as in many cases, when we taking the history of the patient, we get only few symptoms in that case. So in such cases, these clinical rubrics, these diagnostic rubrics, they are useful to reach towards the group of indicated remedies for that pathological or clinical condition. So in this way, these repertories are again classified into different groups. The repertories or clinical repertories, they are classified into, this is also we completed in introductory part, how much groups the clinical repertories they are classified into two main group, that is covering the whole and covering the region, or the repertories which are based on clinical conditions. So covering the whole means the clinical repertory which appended to Borik's repertory or Dr. J.H. Clark's repertory. In these clinical repertories, we found the clinical symptoms related to the whole person. Then covering the region. In that again there are two sub-classifications, that is some repertories they are based on special part and some repertories they are based on clinical condition. So examples of repertories based on special part are Parish's eye repertory, then Morgan's urinary organs, Minton's uterus. These are examples of repertories based on the uh, special part. Then repertories which are based on clinical condition, these are the examples, they are based on particular disease condition, and the example of these clinical clinical repertories based on any clinical condition. The examples are Robert's rheumatic medicine, then Bell's diarrhea, Allen's repertory of intermittent fever, And these repertories, as they are short, they are based on particular disease condition, particular clinical condition, or particular organ. So they are useful in such condition, or the conditions which are related to that part, that system, when we get very few symptoms in the case, or whatever symptoms we get in the case, they are all common symptoms related to that disease condition. So out of these clinical repertories, today we discuss about Bell's diarrhea. So the Bell's diarrhea, the full name of this repertory is the Homeopathic Therapeutics of Diarrhea, Dysentery, Cholera, Cholera morbus, Cholera infantum, and all other loose evacuations of the bowels. So this is the full name of this repertory, that is the the, the repertory, that is Bell's diarrhea. So in this way you have to remember what is the full name of Bell's diarrhea, because many times in oral examination it was asked by the examiner what is the full name of repertory Bell's diarrhea. So you should know about the full name, that is the Homeopathic Therapeutics of Diarrhea, Dysentery, Cholera, Cholera morbus, Cholera infantum, and all other loose evacuations of the bowel. This repertory, it was written by Dr. James B. Bell. It is It is one of the type of clinical repertories which is based on the loose evacuations of the bowel. This Bell's diarrhea is useful when any patient suffering from diarrhea presents with detailed history with respect to sensation, modality, concomitants, before, during, after, and also general concomitants in relation to other parts of the body are to be noted down. And once we get all these type of symptoms, that is, we get the sensation related to diarrhea, then modalities, concomitants, before, during, after, all these modalities and concomitants, then general concomitants, all these things if we get in the case, then it can be repertorized very easily with the help of this repertory. Then this repertory, it was originally prepared for the personal use of author. So it was not actually written index of symptoms, but it was originally prepared for personal use of author as time-saving notes. Basic intention behind the book was not to include all remedies producing diarrhea, but only those remedies of which symptoms regarding type of stool, conditions of aggravation, amelioration, causation, and concomitants. So it was not as such written repertory, but it was prepared by for the personal use by Dr. Uh, Bell, James Bell. It was prepared, it was the index which was prepared by Dr. Bell for his own reference, for his personal use, and his basic intention to write down such index was, or such book was, not to include all remedies producing diarrhea. In this repertory the all remedies producing diarrhea, they were not included, because when we go to Materia Medica, almost every medicine there is affection on GI system of every medicine. So in this repertory, every medicine which produced diarrhea, it was not included in this repertory, but only those remedies of which the symptoms we get regarding type of stool, conditions of aggravation, amelioration, causation, and concomitant. So only these type of symptoms Dr. Bell he included in his repertory. The first edition, which was published in 1869, the first edition which was the book was completed in 1869 and it was published. Then in this edition, it contained all the medicines or all the symptoms after 10 years experience of Dr. Bell. After his 10 years experience, he included all symptoms as well as all medicines in this first edition, which was published in 1869. Then the second edition, which was published in 1881, and this was edited by Dr. W. T. Laird. He added about 32 new remedies and more than 100 pages than the first edition, and also remodeled the repertory part. He rearranged the repertory part of this book again. Then Dr. Lippe also has contributed 2 annotated copies and many suggestions. And after the second edition, after publication of successful second edition by Dr. W. T. Laird, by including 32 new remedies and more than 100 pages, the third edition, which was get published in 1888, and afterwards in this edition some remedies are also added again in third edition, and some remedies are omitted from the previous edition. Then the fourth edition, which was published in 1896, and only few changes which make in the third edition. There are very few changes. After making very few changes in the third edition, the fourth edition, which was get published in 1896. So till date, about 13 editions have come. In this way, the different editions get published in different year. This is about the history of Bell's diarrhea. That is the first edition of Bell's diarrhea, which was published in 1869. Its screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So the first edition, it was get published in 1869. Then second edition, it was published in 1881. Then the third edition, it was published in 1888, and the fourth edition, which was get published in 1896. In this way, the four editions it was get published. Then, as each repertory or each book, it has some sources. So, which are the sources of this Bell's diarrhea repertory? As I told just now, that all the symptoms as well as all the medicines which are included in this repertory, in this book, he take all these symptoms and all these remedies from his own clinical experience of about 10 years. So this was the main source, that is his clinical experience of about 10 years. Then he also take some symptoms, some medicines from various journals. Then Hahnemann's chronic diseases, Jar's new manual repertory, Lippé's Materia Medica, Hahnemann's Materia Medica, Bonning-Hussein's therapeutic pocketbook, then Wells diarrhea. In this way, these are all the sources of the Bell's diarrhea. But the main important source of this Bell's diarrhea is on Dr. Bell's own clinical experience of about 10 years. Then how this book was constructed? As while writing any repertory, when any repertory came for short note or long answer question, then you should write down in proper way. That is, first some introduction about that repertory, then how, what is the history of that repertory, when it was published, how many editions are there, then what are sources of that repertory, then how it was constructed, that means plan and construction of that repertory. If there is any philosophical background, then write down about philosophical background. Then the special features of that repertory and points of criticism of that repertory. So in this way, in these points, you have to write down each and every repertory. Though it was asked for short answer question, it was asked for 5 mark, 10 mark or 20 mark. Then according to weightage, according to the question, it was for 5 mark, 10 mark or 20 mark, you have to write down the answer in that elaborate way. So these points must included, these points must you have to write while writing even for 5 mark short question also. So we discuss about the sources. Now we go towards the plan construction of this repertory. So this repertory, this book, it is divided into two parts. First, that is remedies with their indications, and the second part is repertory proper. So in the part first, the 141 number of remedies have been dealt in detail with respect to following points. In the part first, there are some remedies. He discussed about some remedies. About 141 remedies he have given in his repertory in this book, Bell's Diarrhea, and he give the remedies in the following sequence. He does not give all details of that remedy, but he only mentioned the symptoms related to GIT or symptoms related to diarrhea. So below each remedy, he include the following points, that is types of stool, aggravation, amelioration, before stool, during stool and after stool. These are, we should include the aggravations before, during, after, ameliorations before, during and after stool. Then accompaniments, if there, these are also before, during and after stool. Then during convalescence, given only in few drugs. Under each of the best known remedies, some symptoms will be found italicized. These, it will be understood, are the symptoms which have been frequently observed and which also serve to most sharply distinguish that remedy from the others. The more of these emphasized symptoms we have under any one remedy, the easier the selection. So in this way, in the first part of this book, that is remedies with their indications, under each remedy he has given or he has explained the type of stool, aggravation, amelioration, before, during and after accompaniments and during convalescence. In these points, Dr. Bell, he explained about each and every remedy in the part first. Then in part second, he explained about the repertory proper. And the repertory part, it is based on some philosophy. It is having some philosophical background. That is, it is constructed on doctrine of complete symptom, doctrine of concomitants, doctrine of evaluation of remedy. As in the past years or before Dr. Bell, Dr. Boning Hussain, he gave these concepts to homeopathy, that is doctrine of complete symptom, doctrine of concomitant, as well as evaluation of the remedies. These concepts are introduced first time by Dr. Boning Hussain, and most of the homeopath, they follow this concept, and so the Dr. Bell as well, he follow these concepts, these doctrines, that is doctrine of complete symptom, doctrine of concomitant, and doctrine of evaluation of remedies. And according to this philosophical background, he constructed his repertory. Then in his repertory, four type of typography or four gradations are used. The first grade symptoms or the 4-mark symptoms, they are written in Roman bold letters. Then the second grade or 3-mark symptoms, they are written in italics. Then the third grade or 2-mark symptoms, they are written in simple Roman. And the fourth grade or 1-mark symptom, they are written in Roman in parenthesis or Roman in bracket. So in this way, in Bell's diarrhea repertory, there are 4 gradations, 4 type of typography are given to the remedies, that is Roman bold, italic, simple Roman, and Roman in bracket or Roman in parenthesis. So you have to remember the gradations of each and every repertory, number of remedies in each and every repertory, how many parts the book is having, then how many section in each repertory, how many sections in each repertory. So these things are also very much important while attempting the question, writing down the answer. Then plan construction of this repertory. The repertory part, as this book is having main 2 parts. In the first part, remedies, about 141 remedies, they are explained. the explanation is related to symptoms of diarrhea. Then the second part of this book is repertory proper, and this repertory part or this repertory proper, it is divided into 5 parts. The first one is pathological names. Then the second one is character of stools. Third one is conditions of the stools and of the accompanying symptoms, that is modalities. Means first in that aggravations are given and then ameliorations are given. Then the fourth one is accompaniments of the evacuations. In that, before stool, during stool and after stool, and then general accompaniments. So in this way, while constructing the repertory part, Dr. Bell, he followed the doctrine of complete symptom. First, he gave the pathological name, that is location or diagnosis, then character, sensation, then modalities, and then accompaniments or concomitants, and lastly general concomitants. In this way, while constructing the repertory proper part, he followed the doctrine of complete symptom, doctrine of concomitant. So in this way, as he was following these doctrines, as he was giving importance to concomitant symptoms, he also included the accompaniments before, during and after stool, as well as general accompaniments in his repertory. Now there are in this repertory part, there are 23 subsections. Then how these subsections they are arranged? These subsections, they start from mind and mood and ends on general symptom. And while arranging these sections, these subsections, the remedies, they are used in 4 grades as we discussed earlier. So the first section is mind and mood, second one is head, third eye and ear, fourth one is nose, face, mouth, then throat, esophagus, appetite, eructations, nausea and vomiting, stomach, abdomen, anus, urine, sexual organs, chest, back and neck, extremities, sleep, fever, in fever, chill, heat, sweat and pulse, subsections, then skin, and last 23rd subsection is general symptoms. In this way, there are in repertory proper part, as this repertory proper part, it was constructed according to the philosophy, according to doctrine of complete symptom and concomitant, as well as in this repertory, under repertory proper part, there are about 23 subsections in this repertory part of Bell's diarrhea, and which start from mind and mood and ends on general symptoms. Then arrangement of rubric. The rubrics, they are arranged in some particular pattern. Under all chapters and subchapters, the rubrics are arranged alphabetically. Chapter 1 is pathological names, as we discussed according to his philosophy. The first he has given the pathological names. This chapter gives direct pathological rubrics like cholera, cholera infantum, cholera morbus, diarrhea, dysentery, etc. In plan and construction, we see how the repertory is divided into 5 parts, that is pathological names, character of stool, conditions of stool and accompanying symptoms, that means modalities, then accompaniments of evacuations, and lastly general accompaniment. In that, the first one is pathological names, and under pathological names, this chapter which gives direct pathological rubric like cholera, cholera infantum, cholera morbus, diarrhea, dysentery, etc. Then the second chapter in this is character of stools. This chapter deals with different type of stools. For example, albuminous, bilious, bloody, coffee ground like, copious, frothy, etc. In this way, the character of stool, it was given in under this chapter, how the stool was, what type of stool it was. Then the chapter in chapter 3, conditions of stool and accompanying symptoms. That means after second, that is character of stool. In short, after sensations, there is modalities, means accompanying symptoms. This chapter is divided into 2 subchapters, that is aggravation and amelioration. Under the heading aggravation, not only aggravating modalities are given, but also many positive modalities are placed. So under the heading aggravation, all type of modalities, that is positive as well as aggravative, general aggravative modalities, all type of modalities or all type of aggravations, they are placed under the heading aggravation. As for example, acids after, beer after, cabbage after, soup after. So the patient is aggravated by which things? It was given under chapter 3, that is which things aggravate the patient or which may be the positive modality. Then in chapter 4, accompaniments of the evacuations, this chapter is divided into 3 subchapters, that is before school, during school and after school. In this chapter, all the symptoms that accompany diarrhea before, during and after are included. For example, anguish before school, anguish during school, and anguish after school. So all the accompaniments which are present either before, during, or after school, or accompaniments present all these stages of the stool. How to find out, or we have to search these accompaniments because they are very much helpful to reviewers. Like general accompaniments, there are 23 subchapters, as we discussed earlier, how they are arranged. As let's start from mind and mood. So there are 23 subchapters and which are arranged according to animal scheme. Under each heading, peculiar concomitant state of patient suffering from diarrhea is given. For example, mind and mood, anxiety, crying, depression, irritability, etc. It was given. Then under appetite, aversion, desire, thirst, it was given. So under these subchapters,